little bit of old Joe Clark, a little different version of that. That is actually the first song I ever learned. I used to play it, I'd say, I'm going to now play for you the first song I ever learned. And then I would go. Hang on. Because that's what it sounded like when I played, except that was probably a little faster right there than what I could play at first. But that's kind of where everybody starts. All right, I want to talk today a little bit about creating our own licks. Okay, I want to start this discussion. Now, somebody could show us a lick, and that's great. I've got a lick I can use. I can even, transpose it to different keys, and put it in C and D. I say, oh man, thanks for showing me that lick. That's great. I heard you do that. I just wanted to know how you did it. You showed it to me. I'm gonna go practice that. Okay, here comes the G chord of the jam. Try my lick. That works. That's an old school way to play, And I want to talk about maybe building things up a little bit. Okay, so I talk a lot about like melody fill. Play the phrase or play a fill. So let's figure out how to make up our own fills. So I'm going to give you maybe 2 or 3 concepts today that I think are really useful. Alright, so first thing I start out is with these chords, E, A, D, and I play 5-note scale. That's do, re, mi, fa, sol. And you learn to go up it and down it. And you learn it in A. Now we have some material to work with. You go and you do it in D. So there's our first 3 scales. I just showed you half of 3 scales. It didn't even show you all the way up. It didn't even show you up to the octave. It just showed you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why is that? Well, I want everybody to have a really good command of where the root is, where the third is, and where the fifth is, because those are the chord tones. Don't worry, we can finish these scales easily. I'm not even worried about that. And then the other thing is I want people to understand that the E scale is just like the A scale. And the A scale is just like the D scale, at least up to 5. So now these things start seeming the same and not different. Okay, now we're going to do G, C, and F. Here's G. It's on the 2nd and 3rd frets, starting right there on G. Go ahead and get you the tab in the description so you can follow along with these. And then F, I just leave this finger down when I do F. Okay, so now that gives us 6 scales. E, A, D, G, C, and F. And that's going to cover us as we start for most of the chords in bluegrass. Okay, so I'm going to give 2 concepts here. The first concept I'm going to give is how to use neighbor notes. Okay, with a scale, let's say I've got to play something over D. I could play up the scale. I could play down the scale. I could play up to any chord tone, up to the 3rd, or down from the 3rd. I could play from the 3rd up to the 5th. So learning to go from chord tone to chord tone is a really handy thing for every one of these scales. Then we talk about neighbor notes. I've got an upper neighbor and a lower neighbor. Let's say I'm in D now. I go up to the 5th. Okay, my upper neighbor is just 1 note up. Do-dee-doo. I visit him, I come back down. And now I can run the scale. Well, that could be a fill right there. Tonight I'm alone without you, my dear. Seems there's a longing for you still. Okay, that makes makes a nice little fill. The other thing is that fill I just did in D, we say, what does it start on? Starts on the fifth. The fifth, what? The fifth note of the D scale. Well, any key I go to, that starts on the fifth. So I go over to A. There's 5 notes up. It started on the fifth in A. It'll start on the fifth in E. Right? You know, and other scales, if I learn G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, starts on the fifth of G. Do ba do ba do ba do, goes up 1 note, neighbor note. Now we could have a lower neighbor. I'll do this in G. Lower neighbor's lower. I visit him, come right back home. Went over to his house, came back home. Can't stay there. It's a neighbor. Now I can run up. Well, let's move that to C. It'd be just the same. There's my lower neighbor. D-do-dee. Now I can run up. Right up to the third. I can do that in F. So I'm starting to get lines, starting to get ideas that I can use as, you know, fills or runs or ideas that I can play in these songs. Well, tonight I'm alone without you, my dear. You know, it's a little short run. You said, isn't that just a lick? Well, it could be a lick, right? But it's more like, we're learning a principle. Like, okay, here's a scale. I got a scale. 5 notes, that's all I gave you. Lower neighbor, upper neighbor. Can do a lower neighbor, upper neighbor from any chord tone. What are the chord tones? Odd numbers, 1, 3, and 5. There's the third. Let me do an upper neighbor. It's almost like a fake. Like I faked this way, but I'm really going that way. I faked up, now I'm going down. If I fake down, lower neighbor, I'll go up. You know, and so we're starting to learn a concept. Okay, we got a scale to work. We got a concept. Lower neighbor, upper neighbor. Okay? Okay. So these are good little lines. They work. But now we're going to add another element to this, okay? And this is going to be the flat third concept. So wherever you're at, just repeat after me. Look both ways. Make sure nobody's watching you, and say this out loud. Flat third up, flat third down. Flat third up, flat third down. Okay, nobody heard you? Great. So what we got to do, let's pick a chord. I'll say E. We got to find the third. 1, 2, 3. It's at the 4th fret. Now you see why tab is no good for us? No, I like tab, okay. It's good for certain things. It's good for timing. But that's the 3rd at the 4th fret, right? But that's why we talk in music. 1st, 3rd, and 5th, not 0, 4, 2. Okay, that's an aside. Okay, so now we find the 3rd, we flat it. Now, that flatted 3rd, 1 fret below the 3rd, 1 fret below. That flatted 3rd can either go up or go down. So here it is going up. I can hammer it, I can pick it, I can slide it, however I do that. That flat 3rd went up, and now I'm going to hit the other chord tone. So when I say flat 3rd up, it's just something I made up. I didn't make the concept up. The concept comes from the blues, but I made up this little explanation, flat 3rd up. And you go up to that note. So it's 3 notes, that concept, flat 3rd up. Here's flat 3rd down. These are not opposites now. They're not opposites. See, what are you talking about? One goes up, one goes down. That's opposite. They're not opposites. It's not this. That's not it. That does not sound good. Flat third up, flat third down. Both of those start on the flat third every time. Now we can move that over to A. Just move it over a string because E and A are one string apart. Move it over to D. And we could do that on all the keys. If you can count to 3, you can find the third. If you can count to 3, you can find the flat third. And then you can make that note go up or go down. You can find that anywhere on the guitar, okay? So you still might not know what to do with this, but let's sing a little song. So here I'm in D. 1, 2, 3, I found my third. Here's my flat third. I think I'll even go up a little higher. I think I'll go up even a little higher. I think I'll go down, flat third down. I think I'll go a little lower. Ending on D. I think I'll go even a little lower. Now all of these were starting on the flat third. I can move them all to a different key, so I'm going to move it straight up towards the ceiling. That puts me in A. Here's my flat third. Here's my flat third down. Flat third up. Flat third down. Okay? So let's sing a little song. I'm not the best singer in the world here, but I'm going to sing it anyway. It's an old Stanley Brothers song. It's got 2 chords in it, D and A. It makes no difference where I wander, no matter what I say or do. I can't outlive this memory of you. I cry, Lord, when I think of you. Now we need a couple fills there. Flat third up. It makes no difference where I wander. First fill I need is an A. No matter what I say or do. Now I need a D fill. I can't outlive this memory of you. A fill. I cry, dear, when I think of you. Okay. So we're doing good now. We can start our little movement here on the flat third. We can go up, we can go down, we can go even higher, we can go even higher, we can go lower. We're still coming back to that D note. We can do it in D, we can do it in A, we can do it in E. I bet if we took some time we could figure it out in G, C, and F too. Okay, so now we're really getting somewhere. Now I got a question for you. What do you want for breakfast? I'll give you 2 options. You want pancakes or waffles? So I can't decide. I don't know if I like pancakes or I don't know if I like waffles. Well, it's the same recipe. You have one they put it in the thing and you close it. One they put it on the skillet, but it's the same recipe. So it doesn't matter whether you have pancakes or waffles. So it doesn't matter if you go up or down. If I do my flat third up, this recipe makes country blues. this recipe makes bluegrass. If I go flat third down, that recipe makes country blues. That recipe makes bluegrass. It's the same recipe. Now, if I start all the way at the top, that recipe makes country bluegrass. So I'm good either way. Whether I make a decision in the moment, now that's improvising. I just decided in the moment whether I was going to do something. Okay, I just improvised. But you got to have something to improvise with. And now you have a concept. In fact, you've got a couple. You've got a scale you can work. So 5-note scale, and you can go up that, you can go down that. You've got your neighbor notes. You've got this flat third up. You got this flat third down. Now you can start from the root. You could start from the flat third. You could start from the fifth. You could start from the octave. You could probably even start from the seventh. And you're going to get something that's going to sound about like that. Country blues, right? Country blues. Now if I combine these two skills, my scale with my flat third, now I've got a lot. I've got a scale that I can go up, I've got a scale I can come down, but at any point in there, if I want to sound a little bit bluesy, I can put that flat third in there. And now I've got something that sounds bluesy. Well, it makes no difference where I wander, no matter what I say or do. I can't outlive this memory of you. I cry, dear, when I think of you. So now I'm getting some fills. Okay, so now when we take a song where maybe we need two fills, okay, we need, let's see, what is that, Little Cabin Home again that we were doing? Well, tonight I'm alone without you, my dear. It seems there's a longing for you still. Or see, you can hear those movements in there, right? You can hear that I got a scale. You can hear that I've got flat third, because that's the blues. Well, I'll just keep it there, so I won't be alone in our little cabin home on the hill. And you know, we could do the same thing in G. You have to work out the G ones too. You got to work out how to do that scale. And then attach that flat third in there, and now you got something, right? Okay, so now there is no secret to bluegrass. There is no one thing that's going to work. But these are a couple little concepts that have been helpful to me, and I think helpful to some of my students, that get you some of the bluegrass sound. This is never going to outdo Tony Rice. This is never going to outdo the Masters. We're not even trying to do that. But we're trying to have something that help me help you. That's all we're trying to do. So somebody might come in with more knowledge. Great, I'll learn it from you, and I'll know even more, right? Somebody might come in and say, well, that's not how Bill Monroe did it. Great, I'll learn more about how Bill Monroe did it, right? But I also want to go out and pick. And if this helps you, you can go out and take it and go out and pick. Okay? Now, I do teach lessons, and I do have a course out there that doesn't really talk about any of this improv stuff. This is right here, right, what we just did today. But the course does do a good job of taking a melody, adding double stops, adding fills, and showing you how to build a breakup, and then giving you some tools where you can do that yourself. So if you want something that walks you through, not this improvisation concept, but the concept of how to build a break that starts to sound like something. Now you could take those concepts in that course You say, well, I want to make up my own fills. Now I've got a couple tools right here out of this video right here on YouTube where I can make up my own fills too. Okay? So I know this is a long video. There's a lot to get through, but I hope you get something good out of it. And I'll end with just a couple takes of what was that, Old Joe Clark I started with. So we'd like to end with the same thing. Here's a little bit of Old Joe Clark.